Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350. This is the John Wristen Show. Let's join the voices of the pack, Jim Brooks and Joe Serby, along with CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves head coach, John Wristen.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It is the John Wristen Show. Welcome to all our friends and fans here at the old building as we get our volume up. Ryan's coming over. He'll take care of that. Coming off a victory over Black Hill State on Saturday in the RMAC Conference home opener. And went right down to the wire, but they don't draw pictures, right, John? They just say there's a 1 W in your column right now, and I'm sure that's what you're happy about.
Well, it was a great win for this program. It was a great win for all those kids that have really done all the right things and had a chance to go compete. And when you have a chance to jump up 16-0 and against, I think, a very well-coached team, those kids are playing hard. And the best part of the victory, in my opinion, was when they scored and made it 19-16 with 4 minutes and 36 seconds on the clock. I look at it and I go, all right, we got to hold the ball to the end. This is what we worked on, and sure enough, we were able to hold on. And anytime you get any of those things, that's a great victory right there.
Look at that.
Dewey Thornton is in the house.
Hello, Dewey.
A legend.
I saw him walk by. He didn't take a look at me, though.
A legend.
Yeah, he's busy with other things. He's got the Reasoner stash. You notice that?
Yeah,
that's all right. Kind of like that. Well, John, we even said it on the air that, usually you have to have that 4-minute offense. Well, it was like 4-minute and, 40-second offense you had to come up with.
36.
And got fortunate there. Got the call on the intercept, which is an obvious call. The guy slugged your guy in the head, in illegal hands of the face. Just so happened that it was 40 yards away from where the play ended. I'm sure that's what if you were on the opposite side, you'd be going, God, how do we get that penalty when it's not even part of the play? Well, don't hit a guy in the head, right? So it's all part of the game.
Well, there's always those 6 to 8 plays that make a difference, right? And so, Stevie was trying to make a play with that and overthrew it, and he go, oh my gosh, here we go, and then he comes out and makes 2 great plays right after that. So you got to have a short memory. You can't live in the play that was behind you in the past. You got to live in the moment and live for that chance to go make a play, and that's what that young Stephen Crowell's doing.
And he did it with his legs. I'm sure you're probably going, man, I already got a quarterback down, but you got to turn him loose. You got to play football, right? And he can run.
Yeah.
And he had an opening there, and he took advantage of it.
Well, that's one of those things we said, hey, they're all going to be playing a run, and I wanted them to burn their last time out. And Wilk and I my headsets went out, so my communication was, I'm trying to yell, and he goes, I go, they got 1 timeout left, we got to force them to use it, and the ball game's ours. And he goes, what about a naked? And I said, well, let's do it. Let's just tell him to make sure he runs it. And sure enough, it all bit up. But the key play before was when he threw that 3rd and 12 dropout to Max Fine right on the sideline.
Right.
That was a heck of a throw and a catch that I think was really the big difference in that ball game.
Well, Joe, we commented on it. Fine he might have been the player of the game. Punt returning, and then he is so calm catching the football. That was like a nonchalant cat. Hey, I got this on the sideline. No big worries. Got it. First, let's go.
Yeah, Max is, I tell you, he's one of these players. When you first have him, you go, is he going to be a player or not? You're just, but he's continued to work. He's continued to mature, and I really, I'm telling you, he's been a godsend this season and done a lot of great things.
But for people who don't know about Max Fine, he always, go back to 2 years ago, he always seemed to make a catch, or like. You don't you have the marquee wideouts or whatever, you have the tight whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like, that was Max Fine. It was but it was an important catch at an important time. It was just one of those. But I think Jim hit the nail on the head. He's that calming factor. He doesn't get in there and you don't see this antsy or you just. And that catch on the sideline that you said, it was probably the play of the drive. And it was almost schoolyard. It's good to see in the punt return. I know you like fearless guys. and he's smart and fearless though.
He's getting the ball north and south on the punt returns. He's catching the ball, and we're doing some good things with the blocking and being able to move forward. But Max has really been not the surprise. He's a shining star, and he's really done a miraculous job. And he's just a great kid. He's a great leader with his character and work ethic. And it's really just one of those rewarding things as a coach. You've seen this kid blossom and mature, and he's from the same high school as Darius Williams out of Williamsfield, out of Arizona, out of Gilbert area, and so it's nice to have him have some success, and he's just a hard worker and just going to maintain what he can do, and I'm just really tickled to death about his growth and maturity.
We got another guy out of Arizona, the young, and they kind of look similar. They're like 1A and 1B. Talking, of course, about Andrew Cook. He wears 17.
Yeah.
So you got a 13 and a 17, and they both built kind of the same, both kind of out of the same mold, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really, Andrew's finding his game. You know, he's a redshirt freshman, and he's out of Tucson, and he's got really explosive speed, and Max has that deceptive speed, as I want to say, and both of them are coming into their own and finding a role in our offense and making some big plays.
I like him to Kevin Riberich, only with a little more size. You know, Kevin a little vertically challenged. These two kind of that same deal. They probably hate getting tagged with the tag possession receiver. But keep possession alive receiver with a little more juice.
I think both of them are really what you're looking for. I'd recruit them again. They're both solid character guys that go to class, take care of their business, never had any issues with them. And it's been fun to see their maturity on the football field.
Well, and just look at Saturday, though. Deontay, Nick, Jensen, Max, Andrew, Preston, they all caught balls. It was like Nigel. I mean, everybody caught passes, and that was, a testament to Stevie, But it's nice that contribution from that position, no matter where it is on the field.
Well, it's part of our offensive design, and our backs are involved in that too. And
Michael Root's got a nice pass.
Yeah, so it's part of what we try to do is take what the defense gives us, and we got some full field reads that Wilkes put in, and you got to go from this spot to this spot to see what it is, and it starts out with trying to read that, and our guys have done a nice job with that.
That's all the good news. Bad news, Gunnar Lamphere, I want you to update us on his injury. What is the circumstances? I know it's not too good. It can't be too good.
Well,
or do we get some better news this week than what it looked like on Saturday?
We got some better news today at about 2.
Because Joe and I figured he busted his foot.
And so I think that we thought it was a Lynx fracture when
the Steph Dickens injury.
Yeah, it's the ligament that holds it all together, and it really is a big deal. But came back today in the MRI that it's just really a deep bone bruise on that same ligament. So I think we're going to be able to have him back at just not this week or next week, I wouldn't think, probably in 3 weeks. And just about him being able to have some calmness to realize, okay, now I don't have to have surgery. Now you need to figure this thing out and be able to go play. But we did get some good news finally.
We did have a little conversation with Paul Plinsky via email, and his parents were there, and everybody was kind of busted up about the whole thing, thinking the worst. So that is great news. I think you're going to get him back, because it's like you say, he's never been injured in his life, and here he just keeps getting hurt.
Well, we'd like to play him in the full game.
Yeah, and either saves the day or starts and doesn't finish.
The unique thing is he had 10 plays against Commerce and was on fire and doing well, and then he gets dinged up on his foot, and he's 7 for 8 for 65 yards, 75 yards, and he was
looked good.
He had a great week of throwing the ball, and so I just feel for the kid. I mean, he's invested and done everything he can, and injuries are part of the game, and it's just challenging.
Now it's up to the other two guys to carry the load, I guess, for those 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. They got to go. They don't have to look in their rearview mirror worrying about him for 3 weeks, so they might as well go.
Well, we've got some. Yes, those guys got those opportunities. We need to seize them, and I think Devin has stepped up. He's getting more comfortable with everything in the system, and Steven's just gone out there and proven it. So it's been really nice to have two of those guys that you never thought you'd get down to that, but here we are after the third game. Glad we have those two guys.
Are you going to be situational this week, or are you going to ride Stevie and then have some packages for Devin, or?
We're going to, we do have some packages, and we do have the ability to play both of them in those situations. We're going to start with Stevie and let Devin come in and play and do some different things that he can do.
What I liked about that is, and we talked about it on the air, is when you bring Devin in, you don't lose anything as a thrower at all.
No.
He throws a great ball, and he throws it hard.
Well, he's got a nice little quick release, and he's getting back into it. You know, he didn't play football for over a year and a half, and then we throw him that Texas Commerce game and go, holy smoke.
Yeah, here's your confidence.
And they're, we didn't help him with the way we played and blocked and all that, all the combination of all that. But I'm really happy with Stevie's progression. I wish we could run the ball better right now. I wish, we're struggling a little bit with that. And I just think that if I had a magic wand, I could figure it out and go do it. But I tell you, really, starting last week, we were able to do it a little bit better. We were. You take the drive of the second quarter first drive of the third quarter, and we were able to run it and get some positive yards, and then all of a sudden we kind of ease off the gas, and it was just very frustrating because that's not who we are and what we want to be and what we're about. And I think this week in practice, we put another great week of emphasis on being able to be physical at the point attack.
Well, and you used a lot of twos on the offensive line because of the heat, but it was also sort of like, and they had some success. So it was kind of nice to see that depth across, and those guys have been here a long time say, hey, we're getting pushed from some young guys that are hungry to play. Yeah,
we got some depth, and those guys were in at the 4-minute mark at the end of the game, and we stuck with them, and they did some nice things doing that. And Jordan Jones has come on as a tailback too that did some really good things, and so I feel like we got a pretty good stable back there. We just need to make sure we keep getting target right, and it's just taking longer than I thought. It's just, and I'm hoping not saying that next week, and I hope we've been able to find our identity and the way we've been able to scheme the run and make sure that we're targeted right. And you've heard me say this before, it's about playing fast. Playing fast means that you're targeted right, your technique's right, instead of just being there and doing it. Yeah, I got a plus because that's my assignment. But no, I want to play fast and execute my job to the millth degree. You want to go, and that's playing fast and finishing it and straining that you got to do in the run game. And we haven't been able to do it this year.
What I noticed a little bit more this week was you always say start fast, finish faster. We saw a lot of fast plays this week, but in Thunderwolves teams of past, every play was a fast play. I mean, it was that high level consistently. It looks like this team is just trying to figure out the way to do that on every play.
And it's the consistency of it, and I think good teams have something to do with it, and I think that Black Hills front seven was much better than they've been in the past. It was all those guys that we played against, and now they're buying into their system of their coach and well coached, and those guys are on scholarship too. But I think it's coming. I really do. I want to. We're going to get back to that physical style that we love to play.
All right, we're here at ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It is the John Wristen Show. We got our highlights package coming up next. And then a little later on, our third segment, we'll take questions. We got the hot mic. We haven't had a hot mic question yet this year. It's right here. Don't be afraid of the hot mic. Come up and talk to John here in person. Also, if you got a question, you can text it to me, 719-671-7574. We've got our pepperoni and sausage pizza. I love it. We got the cheese. You got the, what is that, teriyaki wings there?
Those are teriyaki and the habanero.
What are the wings you get? Naked wings?
Naked wings, yes.
It's wing night here, and it's
all you can eat?
It's Wristen Radio Wing Night. Can you say that 10 times?
I can't say it once.
Wristen Radio Wing Night.
Wings Day.
We did it once. That's all it's required.
It's Wingsness Day here.
All right, come back on the other side. Join us. We got 4 highlights for John to listen to and give us his comments on them. Also, have more coming your way. We'll talk a little bit more about Black Hills. You kind of touched on it, but I want to touch on what they brought to the table this week. Okay. That comes your way next. ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It is the John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350. This is the John Wristen Show. Let's join the voices of the pack, Jim Brooks and Joe Serby, along with CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves head coach, John Wristen.
And welcome back, ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It is the John Wristen Show. We got a nice group of people here tonight consuming wings. Lots of wings, copious amounts of wings, however you want them.
We also got Rock that's howling. I think Rock wants a slider.
Rock is, a little bit more, not as timid this week running out on the field. Rock was ready to go.
Yep.
At the start of running out the tunnel this week. The first game, little hesitation there. What am I doing? Let's go. Okay, this week, right out there. It was good stuff. Enjoyed it. All right, before we get to the highlights, John, you kind of touched on about Black Hills State, but I thought I saw pretty marked improvement the way they played the football game compared to what we've seen in years past.
There's no question. I think Josh Bursky, the coach, is first time I've really got the chance to know him or compete. I've heard nothing but great things. He's a line coach. He's tough by nature. He's hired a great staff, and you can see the fundamentals of where they play. But what I saw was a team that was buying into his process. He was buying into what it takes to win, and that's to play physical, to play fundamentally sound, and they played really great defense. And they had some people back there in the secondary. You go, God, we should be able to beat these guys. But no, they were good tacklers. They didn't miss any tackles. And that Doodle kid was really a good player, and he tackled it really well. And I think that their quarterback was much better than he's played against us. And he stayed in the pocket and delivered the ball when we needed to. And so my hat's off to them. I mean, they're coaching too.
Well, Joe even mentioned that was the happiest losing team he's ever seen out of the Thunderbolt, because they gave it all they had. They lost the game, but man, they had to go away. We played a pretty good game.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect, and I think they're a rising program, obviously, and they're going to do a great job. And from what I've seen, they're going to do it right, and that's impressive.
It wasn't too long ago their coach was coach of the year in the RMAC. So that was about 4 or 5 years ago was all. So, but it was a good win. And a much-needed win for CSU Pueblo at the right time.
All wins are good.
Yeah.
All wins are so valuable. And win or lose, it comes down to 5 to 6 games, 5 to 6 plays within the game. And it's a matter of inches. It's a matter of strain that you got to have. And so we're going to take any win that we can.
Yep.
It's kind of funny, though, in the locker room after the game, you think guys would be fired up. They were kind of, I don't know if the heat beat us down or sun beat us down or what. There wasn't a lot of great juice going on. And so I've tried to emphasize the emotional part of playing this game and how hard you got to go.
All right, John, let's go to some plays in this ball game. And defenses are kind of slugging it out a little bit there in the early going. You finally got something going. Got the ball deep into their territory, but the drive stalled. We'll go ahead and listen to the field goal here and then get your comments on the drive, what happened.
On the road. 13:53 to go here in the second quarter. Thunder will strike first. They lead 3-0 on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Well, I think you would have rather had 6 or 7 there on that drive, but you had to settle for the field goal. But still, to execute and get the field goal and get the lead, that had to be big.
Well, one of our keys to victory we go over with the kids is be able to score in the red zone 100%, 90% being TDs. And obviously when you settle for field goals, you give them a chance to try to do that. They're excited about it. And I don't quite remember what happened on that set of plays on those things. I don't know if we. I do remember we were trying to run a screen, and they got us. They read us, man. The lineman was supposed to pick it or would have gone, but we didn't get it. And
as well as negative plays.
Things.
Yeah.
So those are things that you think you have a great call on. And then all of a sudden you realize they had a pretty good call on too. So those are the things that happens. And Dean stepped up and made the kick.
Well, he made that one. I don't know if we should talk about it now.
Yeah, we can.
But,
as well.
Dean missed an extra point, and Coach was not happy, and the stands knew that Coach was not happy. And
Dean Faithful knew you weren't happy.
And then you switched kickers. And tell us about that moment.
Yeah, the dynamic of all that. Was there more into that, or is this like a thing we got to just keep under wraps?
It's the heat of the moment, and I know you, and I know how you act, and so we could see it, and it was just building. And when you go back for more, I've been around you a long time, and I know when you go, you do something, and you're good. But then when you go back for more, you just kind of it's like napalm.
Well, I'm glad you observed that, because I was a little upset that we missed an extra point. Dean has all the tools to be really great, and I think his history of not playing football, the lack of his ability to focus on what the little things are. And so, and I'm going to use an example. Playing soccer, you can kick against the goal and you can win 1-0. That's a great victory. But you might have 20 kicks at goal, and you might have that one. And so I trying to make sure he understands how important every kick is. And so, he's an older gentleman, and he probably hasn't been talked to that way in his life.
We'll get to that.
I was in the mode to be able to show what passion is to play this game, and passion to be able to coach this game. And I don't know if I did that the first 2 games because of whatever reason, but I was bound to determine I was going to let it go.
Yeah, I told Joe in the booth, I go, I think the dynamic here is he's not going after some 19-year-old. He's a 34-year-old man. He's going back and forth with it. I think that added a little bit to it. But I'm assuming you guys have made up. He's the number 1 on the depth chart this week. Is he going to be the kicker?
We had a kicking competition, and let's give credit to Jared.
Yeah, he did a big kick.
He came in and that time it was 16-8, and we had to settle for a field goal, and he put in a 35-yard field goal.
Turns out to be the game winner.
It was the game winner to be able to do that, and he put it through. And I was on the sidelines going, yeah, I'm so excited for him. And so I opened up the kicking competition like we do at most positions and have competition, and Dean ended up winning it.
All right, well, we got a couple more plays. Now, this next one we're going to listen to, you got a great drive to end the first half. I think you go 8 plays, 79 yards. And at the time, when Sykes makes this catch, I'm kind of flabbergasted that he makes it. I go, that's a catch. That's a touchdown. I'm waiting for the ref to throw his arms up because I knew how spectacular it was. I didn't know how spectacular it was until after we saw the videos. But let's listen to the play.
He's got his hands on. That's a touchdown. Yes, indeed. Caught it with one hand. Looked like he could have called interference, which they didn't do. And Sykes somehow gathered that in with one hand.
Okay, John. We're not quite getting it down the line as good as we need. We need to pump that up a little bit back there at the station so we can hear it a little bit better. But you got the gist of it. It was a one-handed grab, and then watching the highlight of it, he reaches around the guy, John, pulls it in with one hand and somehow secures it. Now, the question is, in the NFL, whether that would have been a catch, because it was the old toe-heel thing. Well, and his heel might have been on the line, but You got to give it to him.
It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because they called it on the field.
It doesn't matter. They called it a touchdown. But
right.
It should have been defensive pass interference.
Exactly.
And that wasn't called. And so that's what I'm screaming about, trying to say. And I'm not yelling for a touchdown. I'm screaming at him. I said, it's a pass interference. That's pass interference. I said, come on, guys. And
because he never made one look at the ball.
And he's climbing up as you try to do it. And Deontay does a great job of turning his body and sees it. I mean, he looks like Spider-Man out there, 6'4" in his body and trying to get it down. And I go, he caught it. He caught it.
I said during the broadcast that might be one of the top 5 catches I've ever seen at this stadium. And, I mean, we've seen a lot of great catches. I mean, Josh Sandoval's career was a series of great catches, and Kieran and Paul Browning. But in terms of acrobatics, just the whole 9 yards, might be one of the top 5 catches I've ever seen on that field.
I would agree. It's one of my top 5 catches I've ever seen in my career.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a heck of a deal. It reminded me a lot of, remember Amon Johnson that was out at a Chatham that got Sports Center?
Yep.
I didn't know whether Deontay's play, but that was just a spectacular.
Yeah. So you got kind of what you wanted. We got that. Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I got plenty of emails that said that wasn't a touchdown from the Black Hill fans. So I got pictures that says it wasn't, but they're not showing the picture where he was in bounds and then stepped out.
Yeah, it's the old pass interference.
Yeah, it's the old heel toe. That doesn't make any sense. If you put it's like whatever. But anyway. Like you said, it should have been pass interference on the one. So you get a touchdown going into the locker room. You come out of the locker room. You go right down the field and score again. Let's listen to another newcomer in the end zone.
Flat wide open touchdown. That's the pass on the left side to Nigel Mitchell, who was wide open. Welcome to the back, Nigel Mitchell.
Nigel's kind of coming on, isn't he, John? He's really doing some good things out there.
He's really he's maturing, and you saw that growth in the spring. He also runs track for us. He's also done a wonderful job of the details of running routes now, and he was always fast and loved just doing all different things, but never was a great technician. Now he understands what his craft is and being able to do that. And
I'm trying to remember the exact story. Is this a guy that just kind of showed up and said, you know what, I kind of like to play some... He's out of New Jersey, right?
He's out of New Jersey, and what happened was I got an email from his coach.
Okay.
And so we followed up with it, like I try to do with all... If a coach sends me, I don't do the recruiting services and all that stuff, but a coach sent me an email, and I try to follow up with it, and... So anyway, I thought this kid could play. He was still out there, and Matt Morris, our track coach, and I liked him, and he looked up his track times, and he said, "All right, let's go take a chance on him." And he drove all the way out here. He loves the Kansas City Chiefs, and so he's really a lot of fun to be with. And again, he's one of these young kids. Really came out to Pueblo, Colorado from New Jersey, and doing it with a smile on his face. He makes me laugh. He's a great fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, but he's really maturing and handling his business.
Well, and the quarterbacks seem to find him, or at least try to find him. I don't know if it's that particular route or if he's just fast to get open, but all 3 quarterbacks have looked his way. And if I see Nick Williams and Deontay Sykes or even Max Fine, you're going, okay, that's 3 tried and true, but they're all throwing to Nigel Mitchell.
Yeah, and that was a well-designed play call by Wilk, and we've been working on that. We ran it a couple times in the previous games, and it really worked. But the key was Max. He cleared it out. We talked about Max Fine and the little things. He cleared it out on the backside, and those guys went and followed him, and then Nigel was just slipped behind it.
All right, those are our 3 plays that we'll let John comment on this week. We'll come back after this timeout. We're going to have your questions and answers from everybody. We've got a few in the hopper. If you want to get one added in there, 719-671-7574. We've got the hot mic. Somebody's got to come up, step up, talk to John on the hot mic. I'll get my wallet out if I got to buy somebody a beer to come talk. to John, I'll do it. I'll do that. I'm making that offer right now. Is that all right? Okay. All right, ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House is decided. This is the John Wristen Show right here on Fox Sports Pueblo. I think we may be back. I can't tell. I can't hear the station, but I'm going to go as if we are. I think I hear the cars playing in the background there. So we are back. ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It is the John Wristen Show. Hopefully we're back. If not, they'll join us in progress. And I'm in mid-bite. I'm enjoying this sausage and pepperoni pizza. You know, last week, Joe wasn't here, of course. He was in Disneyland. And we had all this food left over. We realized just how much Joe consumed.
Oh, you guys are so full of it.
Because when we were done, I had chips and salsa and pizza, and I took it all home. I had a tremendous meal on Thursday. I can see right now it's not going to be that way. We're going to have to order tonight, John.
Well, there's always Larry, Moe, and Curly on this show, and so there was only Larry and Moe.
Yeah, Curly was riding Splash Mountain.
Great ride over Splash Mountain.
I thought you were out there trying out for the new job.
Which is?
I thought you were trying to take Mickey Mouse's spot.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Me and Mick. Tell you what, if you ever go out there, they have a new attraction called Rise of the Resistance. I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I've never seen anything like it in my life, and it's that amazing.
Well, you know, one of the greatest. Oh, there's a drop fly ball by the Mets. That helps. Another run in for the Red Sox, by the way. It's 8-1. Remember the Dr. No column, of course.
Oh, sure.
Dave Socher, the late great Dave Socher, and remember Guy Gerton?
Sure.
Guy Gerton. So one of his greatest little blurbs, he said, somebody asked about what Guy Gerton's doing lately, and he goes, well, last I heard he'd gone out to Disney World, he was auditioning to be a dancing tulip. So that was always stuck with me about the whole Guy Gerton line. I wonder where is Guy Gerton these days? That'd be a good thing to Google just to see where he is. I don't know if that was a stage name or if that was his real name or not, but the good old days of Dr. No. Well, let's get to the question and answer session here. John, I got one here, kind of a weird one. They want to know if Junior Seau's nephew is still on the team. I know he isn't. What happened to him?
He decided to go back to San Diego.
Well, you know, the Marine layer is the only problem there until about 11 o'clock, and then after that, it's pretty nice. It's, you know, maybe was that the influence? Is he playing ball, do you know, or you don't care?
No, I hope he's doing well. And
yeah, he just decided football wasn't in his.
Yeah.
That could be COVID related too, huh?
I think that he was homesick after a semester and wanted to go back and try to make something out of himself at home. So.
Okay, so well, good luck to him.
How hard is it to sustain that high-level momentum and passion?
Before you get there, Joe, it's not the first time star athletes come in here and decided, you know what, I remember a kid from he had a great running back from North Carolina that came in. They get homesick, don't they?
Well, they got to learn how to compete.
Yeah.
And they got to understand the mental toughness to be able to compete both in the classroom and on the field. And there's other guys out there trying to challenge them, and it's a little different.
Good. Oh, we're going to go to the hot mic first. Oh boy, I got to figure out which the hot mic is. Go ahead and pick that thing up. Pick it up. Pick up the hot mic. And now try it. Give me a test. Give me a check. Hello. There you are. You ready to go, Charlie? Okay. Charlie with the hot mic. We're going to turn the tables. Usually Charlie buys us a beer. Tonight I'm going to have to buy him a beer.
I like that.
Why don't we just call it even? Go ahead, Charlie.
Okay, John. They were just talking about people that come out here and get freaked out and can't do it anymore. Okay. I don't read the paper anymore because nobody does. And whatever, but maybe you've talked about this, but what happened to Kitna and Lindsay?
Okay.
I think most of the fans want to know what happened to those two guys.
I think those are great questions. Jordan Kitna, after spring, had decided that he was going to get married and move on with his life. He's graduating so he decided to move back down to Dallas where his family is right now. And He's moving on with life. Got married this summer, and I think he's in the coaching world with his. I think he's coaching with his dad right now. And then Marcus Lindsay wanted to pursue some of his master's degree in sociology work. We don't have a master's program in that here at CSU Pueblo. So he was looking for a place to go do that, and he is down at West Texas right now.
Scored a couple touchdowns this weekend, as a matter of fact.
Playing with Hunter.
Do I need to buy you doubles or triples?
No, you're good, Charlie.
All right, Charlie. Thanks for breaking in the hot mic. We just wanted to prove that it does work. It's good.
Charlie always looks like he's going to sing.
He could be a good lounge act.
I got the lounge singing vibe from Charlie.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Uncle Charlie's checking in as he. Let's see. I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong question. Are we going to get in a hot mic?
There's more hot mic. I think Wayne's going to give us a question.
All right, come on in here, Wayne. Pick up the mic. It's right there. Pick it up and go for it.
First, a little quick. I have an answer to your "What happened to Guy Gerton" question.
Oh, geez.
He's here? Well, no, he's a sports guy on a rival station, so I won't shout that out over the air here, but I'll tell you after the show.
He's in the local market?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
I promise you.
Holy cow.
Wow. He's back.
And then I just have a quick question because I was mystified in the game Saturday. What was Black Hills' coach possibly thinking about declining that holding penalty at the end of the game?
Yeah, exactly. We talked about that.
I have my own problems. I have my own problems, and I don't want to try to figure out what they were thinking. But I do think they were thinking about time. It gives you an extra down. But I would have taken it.
Yeah, it enabled you to get the first down.
Right. It sure did. So I think that's what they were thinking.
That was perplexing. Very perplexing when they did that. All right, Uncle Charlie checking in. He's just happy, thankful for a Thunderwolf victory. Thanks, Uncle Charlie. And now all we need is keep our confidence, go to the Dakotas, and show them what the Thunderwolves are all about against an improving program. South Dakota Mine seems like every year they make a little incremental jumps. They went to Shadron. Shadron's pretty good this year, too, and they lost a tough game there, but, they'll be ready.
Yep, I appreciate you checking in, Uncle Charlie. And when you play two really good top 5 programs, I think those guys the first 2 games, and you lose a little bit of confidence, you lose a little bit of your stinger a little bit, and so we are slowly but surely going to gain that back, and we got that last Saturday, and we're looking forward to going and playing a really well-coached team at South Dakota Mines.
All right, Ken checking in from Denver. He wants to give a little profile on that number 75 guy, that tackle, that number 75. That, of course, would be Nicholas Orr. Give us a little profile, your thoughts about him. He's kind of a backup tackle, but he sees a lot of action.
Yeah, Nick came out of Butler Community College. It was the fact that the reason why we're able to recruit him is he was kind of recruiting us because his girlfriend was on the soccer program. And so when that happened, he came out here to visit her on Valentine's Day, and somehow she let me or Simon know, and so we were having a workout on that Saturday and saw how big this dude was and watched a little bit of film. And
it was love at first sight.
It was Happy Valentine's Day. And so we were able to,
it was magical,
decide that he ended up earning his degree, and we were able to get him. And he's really an athletic big guy. And I think he's really got a chance to be special if he really buckles down and takes this thing seriously.
So he just have 1 year?
He has 2 years.
2 years, okay.
And the final question we have tonight, people are this guy's a little concerned about the lack of a pass rush so far. Is that more the product of the offensive lines you face so far? Black Hills much improved. First 2 offensive lines, very sound. But I think that's moving forward. We're used to the Thunderbolts having great, relentless pass pressure, and so far this year haven't had that scary pass rush.
I second that comment. It's one of our concerns, and we're trying to basically play a little bit of a different style by keeping everything in front of us. Maybe not as gambling as we've been, and we're not bringing as many blitzes as we've had in the past. I think we've also we've always been able to have that super defensive man that could get around the edge, and I think we're developing that, and I think we're gaining that confidence to be able to go through that. And so those are all the combination that answer that question. Yes, we are concerned about it, and I appreciate that fan who knows, he must know football, because that's been one of our strengths that we've been able to do, and we've been trying to bring it a little bit with Trevor and Patrick Howell, and those guys were really doing it versus Grand Valley and getting close, and then the quarterback scrambles and those big plays. So it's a combination of all those little things right there. But I think by the end of the year we're going to be okay.
Is that a Miles philosophy, your new defensive coordinator? I mean, the school of trying to stay in your lane, so to speak?
Yeah, it's one of those is that we've always talked about, is not give up the big play and keep everything in front of you and make them work to go 80. And so there was a couple times we brought pressure, and the next thing you know, there was a big play.
Yeah.
I could just see Miles go, oh my God, you know, and so, you know, I'm trying to make sure that it's part of him, because you can't have two people calling the game. You can't have a radio show talk host on our headsets to be able to make those different comments on that. And so it's just one of those things that I think it's a work in progress.
Oh, there's no way they'd want us on their headsets.
You know what's funny though is we appreciate the jobs that coaches do, but I told people before we started this season, Wilk is back, but he hasn't been around for a while. Miles is new. Mix up in the booth is new. I mean, Coach Fagans, I mean, he's been around, but these are new roles. Things are going to have to take a little bit more time, especially because you got a year and a half's worth of rust.
Well, that's an excuse.
Yeah, but I'd say it's more of a justification.
Well, whatever it is, it's something that we're working through.
Sure.
And you realize that you hadn't really coached the game with these guys for a long time, so we're going to work through it.
All right, we're going to work through this final break here. We got one final segment here of the John Wristen Show. We're at the ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. Come out and join us. It's all you can eat wing night. You can also have pizza. You can have fried cheese. You can have anything you want and enjoy it. Hope you enjoy our final segment here on Fox Sports Pueblo.
Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350. This is the John Wristen Show. Let's join the voices of the pack, Jim Brooks and Joe Serby, along with CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves head coach, John Wristen.
And welcome back, ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It is the final segment of this week's John Wristen Show. If you're just joining us and you missed the first part of the show, I do record it and I do put it up on YouTube a little bit later this evening, so you can catch up. A few people, in fact, a lot of people that are here show up at the bar and the grill and the restaurant. They like to listen to it again too, so we do provide that service. Let's go ahead and get John's mic back up and ready to roll. This week's ball game against South Dakota Mines. They are 2-1 on the season. Lost a tough one at Chadron State. I think it was 31-20, something to that effect. It was kind of a two-score game, but it was a one-score game for the most part throughout. Chadron's much improved. That's kind of a backyard brawl game up there, so a lot of emotion in that one. But they can cause you some issues and cause you some problems. I'm sure you've been watching the tape, as we say, and it's probably giving you a little bit of a headache.
Well, I'm telling you that they hired Charlie from Northwest Missouri.
Charlie Florida.
Yep. And when
They've won a few games down there in Northwest Missouri.
They know how to win. And the unique thing that I was able to visit with Charlie on my national committee and with Northwest and just see how they do things. And so they got a plan, and they demonstrated that. They've done it for the last 2 years, and they got a tremendous athletic quarterback. They got the running back that was Lewis that really we played against in the past. And defensively, they bring a lot of different type of pressure with stemming and moving. This 49 kid, he's out of, I just know him by 49 because that gives me headaches. And he's all over the field, and he's so hard to block. And Simon's nicknamed him Gumby because he just gets himself all over and extends. And it's just really been it's going to be a great challenge for us because they're going to junk it up and they're going to get us, and we've got to be able to handle all that. And so, but they got a plan, is my point, and they've come in very successful, and you can tell they're very well coached.
Well, the quarterback, you mentioned Jaden Johansson, 40 for 72 on the year. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, but the thing that stands out about it, he's a leading rusher, John. 23 carries for 222 yards. I mean, that's picking him up. He scored a touchdown there. He has a long run of 55 yards, so he can score from anywhere on the field. So it's tough to account for guys like that.
Well, what they do is they do a lot of eye candy and create the quarterback run, meaning they're going to fake everybody going to the right, and then they're going to pull guard and tackle, and the quarterback's going to the left. And it's really a well-designed concept, and we haven't seen that before. And when you got an athletic quarterback, and they try to just what we call as eye candy and get everybody going one way, and then you got to come back with the quarterback run to the other side, and they pull guards and tackles, and you got to stay home and be fundamentally sound, and it's one of those things that you hold your breath on.
You got to stay at home, but then you got to worry about some pulling guard coming up and smacking you in the side of the head.
And you got to be balanced in your fronts, and you can't bring pressure to it, and you just got to play really keep it in front of you type of defense.
Well, this isn't the easiest trip to make. You know, it's a long bus ride. It's the stop at Mount Rushmore. It's neat for the kids because they finally, a lot of kids will never get to see that again unless they stay here for 4 years and they get to see it twice.
Yeah.
But this is the extended road trip of the season for you.
Yeah, this is we're leaving Friday morning early, and we're eating breakfast on the road, going to Cheyenne East High School and practice there and get out of the bus and walk around, and then go to another 4 hours to Mount Rushmore, and then you drop into Rapid City and have dinner and then meetings, and then it's a 4 o'clock game. So
what's your opinion of that 4 o'clock start?
Dumbest start time ever.
I really am frustrated by it because that means that we get back here at 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and I got to go to work, go back to right to work at that time, and you know and I feel for the kids. You know, we have these 56 passenger buses, and we have 28 players, both offense and defensively, and you got coaches on there, and it's just one of those things that you have to.
Just have to battle through it, don't you?
You have to battle through it, and it's really one of those things you go, what am I doing riding these buses like this, and try to do that. But it's our only way to operate. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you could always charter a flight like we did at Grand Valley, that was unbelievable. I mean, that's a great way to go.
I have a question. I don't know that it's particularly germane, but, you know, like I said, I told Jim when Black Hills was running off the field, they were excited that they were close. I know you can't speak for other coaches, but you as a coach, and you see what everybody else is doing, does that give them hope that they see you have 2 losses in a close game? And I'm not very clear, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think what you're trying to say that we've got a chink in our armor.
Like you're right,
and they're trying to expose it, and so until we show that our armor's okay. And that's done by the way we play, and that's playing fast, it's playing physical, it's getting back to the pack way, and we're slowly and surely doing that. I wish I could bottle up every successful team we had and say, I wish it was this easy, and here's the pixie dust to do that. But it just doesn't happen, and so we got to develop the attitude and chemistry because that's our number one goal on our team, and we got to make sure that we play as hard as we can. And it goes to the old saying, in my opinion, that a man will only do so much for $1, but a man will die for a cause. And so our cause in this team is to go play for each other and go play as hard as we can. And I think we're getting to that point.
All right, we've got about 30 seconds, John. Wrap it up. Just tell us what we're going to expect in this ball game. What can we expect to see?
Well, I think that you're going to see both quarterbacks play. I think they've had a really good week of practice. I think that we're going to use DJ in a couple different ways on offense, and so to try to get his ability to be in space. I think we've really cut our game plan down to be able to manage what we have and play fast. I think our kicking game has to be really on point. You know, that's awful windy up there. I know last time we played, we got to manage the wind and take advantage of our opportunity. And then defensively, we just got to tackle and make plays on defense. Our lack of turnovers, lack of getting turnovers is very evident right now, and so we got to do that, and that's kind of the pathway, and we're looking forward to a great challenge versus South Dakota Mines.
All right, we're looking forward to it. We'll have the ball game for you here on Fox Sports Pueblo. Remember, it's a 4 o'clock kickoff from the beautiful Black Hills. 3:30 with the pregame show here on Fox Sports Pueblo. Jim and Joe will be there. That's us too, Joe. We know that. And special people thanks. Trey Strazikar is the sports information guy at CSU Pueblo. Paul Plinsky, the athletic director. Special thanks to Ryan and everybody here at ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. For the coach, John Wristen. For Joe Serve, here, Aaron Konitsky, our producer and engineer, I'm Jim Brooks. Talk to you on Saturday. Good night, everybody. Go Pack.